Well, hello everybody. How are you? How are you? Yes, we're back here at the Fairlawn Public Library. Why? Because in the Pine Gallery we have another art show, a opening reception for the artist. Let's go upstairs and say hi to Sydney Roberts. I'm looking at one of your first works here, and already I'm incredibly excited about it. It looks so strong. Before we talk about it, a little introduction. Tell everybody, what's your name, please?
I'm Sydney Roberts.
Where are you from, Sydney?
I was born in England, in Leeds, Yorkshire.
Really?
I'm not going to say when.
That's okay. We'll let them guess about that.
I lived part of my life early life, and also in Dublin, in Ireland, where my mother was from. And one of my earliest passions was photography. I remember when I was 6 years old, living in Ranelagh in Dublin, my father gave me 2 and 6pence. And the first thing I did was to run out of the house down to the chemist shop, which sold cameras. And I bought this tiny little plastic Brownie Kodak camera. Oh. That you had to lift up 2 pieces of metal to look through it in order to focus on or to frame a picture.
Well, if I'm not too much mistaken, I think things have changed quite a bit about that.
My goodness,
and that's sort of
yes.
where I want to get into today, because as my audience will see as I do some other cutaways later, we're really looking at photographs, and actually we started with this incredible one right here. Mm-hmm. But there's something, a technique that you use to actually end up with your finished product. Explain that to us.
Well, first, can I just explain a little bit about the difference between photography then and now?
We have a minute and a half. Go ahead.
First of all, photography today with digital photography has made it much easier to be more creative, because the camera does a lot of the thinking, and you can really concentrate on your composition and your lighting. And that's really the secret to it. The first thing is the vision of being able to see the world as I see it, or whoever sees it, and then capture that image. Then I not only capture the image, but I also print my own work on canvas. And that's also a technique. The printing is very important to get everything right. The colors, and in many cases, sometimes the pictures are created in in sort of a impressionist way in order to enhance the picture in many cases. Sometimes I don't do it because the picture speaks for itself.
As a matter of fact, and again, I'm just on a time frame here, this is the Great Falls in Patterson.
Yes.
That I think quite a few people from our area would recognize. But you have a special format, a special way of actually producing this now. Explain that to us.
Well, actually, that's one of the pictures that has been very not touched at all, basically, other than the color to make sure it was right. But I've been back to the Falls a number of times, and I was very lucky on that day in June in 2003 to be able to get the lighting to be the way it was. Because if you notice, there's no shadows there, because it was kind of cloudy, and a little bit of sun peeped through on the falls and on that one rock. But other than that, it's more or less overcast, sort of.
Let me talk about this. You have a special way. Again, I don't have an hour show, so I want to get to the point.
Yeah.
You're talking about printing this a certain way. Explain that to us. Or should we get maybe in front of a print that maybe shows a stronger image of what you were talking about? Would that be okay?
All right. Yes.
All right, I'm on. All right, Sydney, we're looking now at a different idea, which is, I think, something in England, right? But we're talking about, I want to get some idea of the actual printing technique. Explain that to us while I look at the photograph.
Okay. Well, this is a little village in Bybury in England, and the technique here is that the picture is impressionistic. And the coloring is very important, that the colors be the colors of the flowers. When you give one of these prints out to be printed in a commercial way, first of all, to get them to spend the time on evaluating the color of the flowers to the actual color on the camera would be quite expensive, and it's cheaper for me to do it myself. But I print some, and if I don't like the color, I just throw it away. So it's not a perfect science where you just print it up and that's it. You persevere with it until you get it the way you want it, and then you save all the settings. First of all, the printer has probably about 20,000 different ways to set it up, depending upon the color you want.
And this technique is called what?
Well, the technique is called printing it as giclée. Okay. Oddly enough, it's a French word, but it was invented by some chaps out in California.
Most of your works at the library here, that format?
They're all the process is a giclée, but they're original photographic images that I've taken, and by transferring them from the digital camera onto canvas, that process is called a giclée.
Okay, let me ask you this: how do you feel about being here in Fairlawn and having your work being seen?
Well, I think it's great, really. It's wonderful to find people that are appreciative of it. My real field is I'm an American Society of Interior Designers. I'm an interior designer, but I'm at the twilight of my
oh no, the twilight is still far away. I can tell that.
Oh, really?
I just want to say congratulations on being involved here in Fairlawn. The library focuses on wonderful artists all the time, and you're certainly one of them. I'm going to let our audience get a chance to see some more cutaways with some music. A pleasure meeting with you. We'll let people know how long the show is running.
My pleasure.
Go out and take some more shots.
I'll try.
Congratulations, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.